Hello everyone and welcome back. Today I figured that I would kind of talk to you a little bit about Mrs. Kissing Spine over here. Let me get her close by. I gotta drive all the way up to our tax stall, which is where everything else is. So that's what we're doing now. This is actually what I do basically every time I come out here. Some call it lazy, others call it innovative. I'll let you decide what you want to call it. Anyways, Miss here is a 2004 model quarter horse. She was diagnosed officially with mild kissing spine this past February. I've kind of always assumed that that's what it was, because especially the last few years we've always had like some back problems, but it was nothing, I don't want to say anything too major, but it was definitely noticeable. I've had people come out and Magnawave her, she's had massage done, but she was always rideable and she was sound, so we didn't really, we thought about it, but we didn't think about it. The Magnawave practitioners obviously can't officially, where are you going? Obviously officially cannot diagnose as they're not vets. Move your face. Come on, you. They cannot officially diagnose because they're not vets. So I had a vet look into it last fall before we had moved. I saw it on the x-rays then, but he did not want to give it a diagnosis, knowing that we were moving within the next 30 days. I finally got them down here. I want to say it was right around Thanksgiving, little after Thanksgiving last fall. Put a couple rides on her and she was just not happy. So we quit riding, I want to say late December, early January. Not that I got to ride a whole lot to begin with, just because life is always happening, but you know. So I put a couple rides on her, and come January, late December, early January, she was just not happy with it. Had no signs of being happy with it. So I called and scheduled for the spring vaccinations. I had the vet come and kind of assess her at that time too. They found the same thing I found, and it was really weird, is she was super uncomfortable at that point in her shoulder. She didn't even want you to touch her. So they had suggested that I reschedule as soon as I could, which I was able to get in middle of February, to where we could come and x-ray her, or they could come and x-ray her, which is when we found out she was diagnosed with kissing spine. Alright, so as I was saying, it's about February by the time that we got diagnosed. She was showing some severe pain on her other side here at the shoulder. We honestly could not even touch her as if we are now. Absolutely wanted nothing to do with it. She would just actually try and rear up and pull back, and yeah. So in between waiting for the official vet appointment and everything else, I had obviously stopped riding. I had contacted a massage therapist who had also found that she was very reactive to that shoulder on her right side, which, with everything we found, I was slightly surprised that that was the only place she was really reactive to at the time. But obviously horses feel pain where they feel pain, and that is where she felt hers. So this is her now. She's actually, compared to where we were at, I can plug in the photos from, I believe it's the day after our diagnosis, up until, I want to say about April. And then I think I also have a June one. So I might just plug all those in so we can see where we're at. But yeah, it's been a long road. This right here is what, actually this right here is what initially prompted everybody to think kissing spine. It initially just kind of looked like a little hunter's bump, and as you can see, it's progressed. It is no longer just a bump. I want to say the vet said it was the T15 through 17. I believe that was the 3 spaces. They only classified her as a mild case, so they did not think that she would be a very good candidate for surgery. So we went the very super conservative route and just did like the rehab portion as if we have done the surgery, except we didn't do the surgery. And she was actually doing really well. She was progressing quite well with that. But then, like everything else, work happens and life happens. So we kind of fell off the bandwagon a little bit. Let me see if I can get her to stand straight here. Stand. Again, it's not perfect because she's not 100%. She's still got that one foot slightly forward. But you can still see the bump, which has kind of prompted all this. But yeah, with life happening and the fact that surgery that I was quoted, I think the vet quoted me $3,000 to $5,000, and they couldn't have even. No, I think that would have been if it was done in state. But with her age and everything, they didn't think she would be a very good candidate for it. So we just prompted to go the conservative route, which is what has got us to this point. We've kind of just been at a standstill. I've got a handful of rides back on her, but nothing super impressive in my opinion as far as rides go. We've just been taking it easy, trying to bring her back slow, and just trying to figure out how to get her to use herself, because I think what has caused this is a lot of improper riding. Back when I was new to horses, young and dumb, I've had her since she was a 3-year-old. She's now, like I said, 2004 model. So she is also up there in age. But it is what it is. We're just kind of making the best of the situation, because at the time you only know what you know. From what I've been finding out, I still think I would have done what I did, and I don't think I would have went the surgery route, as they're finding more and more horses that have had the surgery still end up reverting back to how they were. Whether that's due to probably a huge factor of things, that would be my fears. I'd spend all this money and she would still be the same, especially because whether I would have spent the money or not, my work schedule still is what it is, and it's not the most consistent schedule. The only thing it is really consistent is giving me 40 plus hours a week, which is great. But when you're trying to rehab something, it'd be nice if it was a little more consistent. We just need to keep going on the journey in which we're going, because so far she's still ready to rock and roll. We just have a lot more things to do from here. But yeah. If you end up experiencing anything like this with your horse, I highly suggest doing the research. Obviously, there's at least 2 known ways to kind of help correct and fix kissing spine via surgery, and that is the ligament snip and the bone shave. Neither of which, like I said, were good options for me. just money and making sure I could properly rehab her, because if you're not going to do the rehab, there really is, in my opinion, no sense in putting the money forward, because it's not a guaranteed fix. Even if you do all the stuff and things, it's just not a guaranteed fix. So yeah, we've just been going along with the rehab program as if she's had the surgery, and doing stretches and line work. Just gonna continue about our time. So I hope this is informative, and I will see you all in my next video. I hope this kind of helps people one way or the other decide on what they want to do if their horse is diagnosed with kissing spine. Just because there is no one right way to treat it. Every horse, every case is different. So every case you can kind of go about it a different way. And I will see you all in my next video.